China's moon ambitions, are they planning to weaponize space? Welcome, fellow space explorers, to KM Celestial Journey. Today, we're embarking on a journey that will take us far beyond our planet, into the realm of the moon and China's ambitious plans for it. But this isn't just a story about science and exploration. It's a story that raises a critical question. Are China's moon ambitions purely peaceful, or could they be planning to weaponize space? Buckle up, because this is going to be a cosmic adventure filled with intrigue, discovery, and a few surprises along the way. 1. Introduction to China's lunar program. Let's start at the beginning. China's journey to the moon didn't happen overnight. It's the result of decades of planning, investment, and technological advancement. The Chang'e program, named after the Chinese moon goddess, has been at the heart of this effort. Since its inception, the program has achieved milestones that have left the world in awe. From the first soft landing on the moon by Chang'e 3 in 2013 to the historic landing on the far side of the moon by Chang'e 4 in 2019, China has proven its capabilities. And let's not forget Chang'e 5, which successfully brought lunar samples back to Earth in 2020, a feat not accomplished since the 1970s. These missions have solidified China's position as a major player in space exploration. But here's the thing. While these achievements are impressive, they've also sparked a lot of questions. What's the real motive behind China's moon missions? Are they purely scientific, or is there something more going on? 2. The science behind China's moon missions. Before we dive into the controversies, let's take a moment to appreciate the science. China's lunar missions have contributed significantly to our understanding of the moon. For instance, the far side of the moon, often called the dark side, is a region that had never been explored until Chang'e 4 landed there. This area is shielded from Earth's radio interference, making it an ideal spot for astronomical observations. Chang'e 4's rover Yutu-2 has been exploring this mysterious region, sending back data that could revolutionize our understanding of the moon's geology and history. Similarly, the samples collected by Chang'e 5 are providing new insights into the moon's volcanic activity and the composition of its surface. These discoveries are invaluable for scientists around the world. But while science is undoubtedly a major driver, it's not the only factor at play here. 3. The geopolitical angle. Now, let's talk about the geopolitical implications. Space has always been a stage for superpower competition. During the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce race to the moon, not just for scientific glory, but for political and military dominance. Today, we're seeing a new space race unfold, and China is at the forefront. China's moon ambitions are part of a broader strategy to establish itself as a global superpower. By 2030, they plan to build a lunar research station, potentially in collaboration with Russia. This station, they claim, will be used for scientific research and international cooperation. But here's where things get interesting. Some analysts believe this station could have dual purposes, including military applications. Could China be using science as a cover for something more strategic? Number 4. The weaponization of space. This brings us to the heart of the matter, the weaponization of space. The idea of space-based weapons might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's a very real concern. Space-based weapons could include satellites armed with lasers, missiles, or even systems designed to disrupt or destroy other countries' satellites. China has already demonstrated its anti-satellite capabilities. In 2007, they conducted a test in which they destroyed one of their own satellites, creating a massive debris field in orbit. This test sent shockwaves through the international community, as it showed China's ability to target and destroy satellites, a capability that could be used against other nations in a conflict. If China can do this on Earth, what's stopping them from doing it on the moon? 5. The moon as a strategic military outpost. Let's take this a step further. Imagine a military base on the moon. It might sound like something out of a science fiction novel, but it's not entirely far-fetched. The moon's unique position could make it an ideal location for surveillance, communication, and even missile defense systems. China's proposed lunar research station could serve as a stepping stone for such ambitions. While they claim it's for peaceful purposes, the potential for militarization can't be ignored. control of the moon could mean control of space, and control of space could mean dominance on Earth. It's a high-stakes game, and China is playing to win. 6. The global response. Unsurprisingly, China's moon ambitions have sparked concern among other spacefaring nations. The US, in particular, is closely monitoring China's activities. NASA's Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon by 2025, is seen as a direct response to China's growing influence in space. Meanwhile, countries like India, Japan, and members of the European Space Agency are also ramping up their lunar programs. The moon is becoming a crowded place, and the stakes are higher than ever. The question is, will this competition lead to collaboration, or will it escalate into conflict? 7. The ethical dilemma. This brings us to the ethical dilemma. Should space be militarized? The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 prohibits the placement of weapons of mass destruction in space, but it doesn't explicitly ban all military activities. This legal gray area leaves room for interpretation and exploitation. If China or any other nation decides to weaponize the moon, it could trigger a new arms race in space. The consequences would be catastrophic, not just for Earth, but for the future of space exploration. Space should be a place for collaboration, not conflict. But as history has shown, where there's power, there's often the potential for misuse. What's next for China and the moon? So what's next for China and the moon? Their upcoming missions, including Chang'e 6 and Chang'e 7, will focus on exploring the moon's south pole, a region rich in water ice. This resource could be crucial for sustaining a lunar base, but it could also be used to produce fuel for spacecraft, including military ones. China's long-term vision includes not just a lunar base, but also a space station in orbit around the moon. This would give them unprecedented access to the lunar surface and beyond. But again, the question remains, what's the endgame? Are these missions purely scientific, or is there a hidden agenda? The bigger picture. Ultimately, China's moon ambitions are part of a larger strategy to secure their place as a global leader. Whether or not they plan to weaponize space, their growing capabilities are a wake-up call for the rest of the world. Space should be a place for collaboration, not conflict. But as history has shown, where there's power, there's often the potential for misuse. The moon could be the next frontier for humanity, or the next battleground. The choices we make today will shape the future of space exploration for generations to come. So what do you think? Are China's moon ambitions purely scientific, or is there a hidden military agenda? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to KM Celestial Journey for more deep dives into the mysteries of the universe. Until next time, keep looking up.